What's going on, y'all? This is the Closer to Home podcast where we talk about all things culture through the lens of being a believer. I'm Chuck.
I'm Rocky, and this is episode 2.
Now we back to church. That's where we need to be.
Yes, sir.
Shit, talking right. Real right. 12 tribes posted at the gates. Watches on the wall, got that Jasper on the face. Revelation takeaways. This is just the welcome, but you gotta keep the faith to stay. Feeling like Kobe on the breakaway. Like I've been writing rhymes on a paper plane. Waiting on the Lord till he make a way. Why these hooks got him reaching for the skies like Kareem? I'm too different. Different for this world like a deem. Too much scripture for this world to try to shackle up my soul. With my back against the wall, I get back up with my bros. See the jackal in the field, I can't tackle this alone. First Adam in the grave, second Adam on the throne.
All right, so here in Revelation 3:16, it says, "So because you are lukewarm and neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth."
True.
How you feel about that? And that's on red.
That's the topic. So, boom. Topic is pick a side. So, either you are with us or you're against us.
Who's us?
Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus.
gang. Ooh. Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Pick a
choose.
side. So we came to this topic. We came to this topic because did y'all see the Doja Cat thing? Yo, Doja Cat, because I know a lot of y'all seen it. Doja Cat has
Wow.
been on a tangent, dressing real satanic and stuff like that. And people have been responding to it like, oh, no, I don't do that. I don't do the satanic thing. Like, I don't do that. But they also don't do the Jesus thing. And they think like there's a middle. There's no middle. Like, pick a side. It's like if there's a game plan, they think like, all right, I'm not gonna go in the game. I'll just stay on the bench. Like, even if you're on the bench, you're on a team.
Mm-hmm.
Whose team are you on? So we're gonna dive into it because it's like pick a side. I'm gonna let you go because this episode might go for 30.
Okay. Yeah, son. Man. So the first church that I was at, Mendon Hearts in Burlington, right, where I got saved, gave my life to Christ, and literally got baptized. Pastor Danita said something that I'll never forget in my life. She said, "Casual Christians become casualties." Son, I was like, "What?"
Yo.
And like it was at that point in time, like, and it was like a theme of like what we was going through at the time. But she was talking about like how we're in a war, and casual Christians become casualties, and I'm just sitting there looking like, dang, you know, like, do I want to be a casualty? And I'm like, but like, what like gets you there? And I think is defense. You know what I'm saying? It's being imagined two. You know what I'm saying? Like Game of Thrones, like it's this side and it's this side. And if we're coming at each other, you know what I'm saying, to go and imagine just being in the middle. Like you're literally you're bound to be taken out. You don't even know what's going on. And I think that's like people who are like uninterested in understanding that there's a war going on. You feel me?
And lazy.
Okay.
And lazy.
That was a more direct way to put it. That was a direct way to put it.
And lazy. I think what they don't understand is Satan's mission, right? So it's very clear that Jesus says, "Follow me," right? So it's like, okay, if Jesus says, "Follow me," then his opponent must be saying, "Follow me." So now I have to choose who I want to follow. And it's like, Satan didn't say, "Follow me." He came here to steal, kill, and destroy God's greatest creation. And his way of doing that is by making sure that y'all don't follow him. So when you sit there and say like, "Oh, I'm not going to follow Jesus, I'm not going to follow him," he's like, "Cool. Great. Because my goal is to make sure that you don't follow him." That's what people don't understand. And the thing is, here's what I love, is that people they believe in Satan. They believe that he's real, but they don't care to do the due diligence to know what his mission is and what type of person. If you believe Satan is real, how smart do you think someone is that's been around for that long? Like, do you think that he's on this earth for this long and he's going to just raise his hand and say, hey, I'm the bad guy, follow me? You know what I'm saying? That's so stupid. He's not going to do that. One, we are made in the image of God. It's in our innate nature to be moral. So if we see someone say, hey, I'm the bad guy, follow me, a lot of us are going to say no. Which is the same reason why a lot of us saw Doja Cat and was like, ugh. Because it's in us to see bad and be like, no. So he's not going to say, I'm bad, follow me. But what he will do is can make us question who's good. So now we know that he's bad, but now we're like, is Jesus God? Is Jesus real? Am I God? Is there a God? That's his tactic. So now we're all sitting here confused on who's good. And a lot of us is going to say, like, you know what? I'm just chilling. I'm just playing on the outside. There's no outside. I'm me. Yeah. I'm me. Like, you're on his team. That's one of his tactics. He has people that work for him. You know what I'm saying? But his tactic isn't just let me get an army. His tactic is let me make sure that y'all do not follow him. That's his mission.
I think he's been getting cocky with it too. I can't even hold you. I believe that, like, this not something that's new. You feel me? Like, this is not a new thing. I feel like people are just kind of being like, I feel like this is a new revelation. Like, this is a new revealed truth that people are seeing. Like, oh, like, that's what she's really about. Oh, that's what I've really been down with. Oh, those are the lyrics of the songs I've been singing. Like, I'm saying, like, this is the kind of person who I got posters on my wall, whose music is constantly playing in my ears all the time. We act like, I'm saying, like, the music don't really, like, mean much. But it's like, at the end of the day, like, when you listening to music, like, your soul's open. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. you feeling all of the lyrics or whatever it is you listen to, whether it be bang bang music, whether it be sad, sappy music, you know, headbanging music, like, whatever it is, like, you be feeling that joint. And so now it's like, this what's been, you know what I'm saying? Like it's you, like, you know what I'm saying? And the enemy, I feel like, is literally kind of just like breakdancing on everybody. Like, yeah, like, I could be that out here with it, and y'all still gonna rock with me. Literally. And people are kind of like, oh, and like trying to backtrack now. And I think one is good to, like, you know, you should definitely be more aware of what's going on, but like, let's not stop there. Like, let's figure it out. Like, just like you were saying, like, okay, people be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really believe in God, but I do believe that, you know what I'm saying, there's a devil. I do believe that there's an adversary. It's like, all right, like, let's start there. If you believe there's an adversary, what is he contrary to? Like,
and why? And what is he doing? Why is he doing this? Everything has a purpose. So if you believe that there's evil, like, you think he's out here having people display, you know, all these satanic things and doing these rituals and all this stuff, why is he doing it?
You know, a question that one of my homies asked me one time was like, yo, like, why would I do this whole God thing? Why would I follow all of this and do these things it is that you're saying if my life is going, like, well, like life is good. Life is, like, actually, like, good for me.
I personally hate when I hear people say good, because you don't know what good is.
What's good? Why you say that people don't know what good is?
Because God is good.
Okay.
That's the standard of good. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can say I'm doing good because, like, I got all this money, but, like, it could be blood money. You know what I'm saying? People can say, oh, I'm doing good because I have the best job ever, but, like, you could have gotten that job illegally. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like there's so many things that you can do that you define as good, but you can get it in a bad way. So you don't know what good is. That's why God makes it very clear, like, I am good. Period. Like, stop trying to figure out what good is on this earth because I'm good. And I think that's another tactic of the devil is what y'all think good is, I'm going to give it to you. Like, you think the best life ever is to be able to just have a bunch of women or a bunch of men and a bunch of money and a bunch of cars and all that. If that's good, take it. If it's going to make you not seek good, I'm going to give it to you. Yeah. If you think that's good, here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just another tactic. So it's just so, like, again, it's lazy. It's lazy. It's gonna make it's just another tactic for him to be like, let me make sure that y'all don't seek God, don't seek Jesus any way possible. And if it's by distracting you, if it's by putting a veil over you, of making you think that you got heaven on earth, then I'm gonna give it to you.
So ultimately, you're saying the plight of the enemy is to make sure not only you don't follow Jesus, but that you get there as slow as possible. He can put as many obstacles in your way, but obstacles don't look like, oh, this life is going to be hard for me. Life is, woe is me. It's more so like, let me give you this fool's gold.
I think his goal, it doesn't even necessarily have to be in the slowest way possible. I think his tactic is just simply, I don't want you to know who Jesus Christ is, and I don't want you to follow him.
Okay.
And the reason why is because God's mission, what God wants is eternal relationship with his children. That's what he wants. So if Satan wants to destroy that, he's going to take every avenue he can to make sure that God does not have that eternal relationship with his children. So if it takes giving you everything you want to avoid that, I'll give it to you. If it takes taking everything from you, because there's some people that will say, God's a horrible God, I will not go. When it's like, no, the devil was doing that to you because he knew that if he did that, you would blame God and run away from him. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to take any avenue he can to just make sure that you don't seek that eternal relationship.
Or I think that ties into the analogy that I was going to. So my homie's like, yo, why should I do this? If you say the ultimate goal for us is to follow Christ, right? To find out who God is. Let's say me and you sitting here looking at each other, right? And Jesus is behind me. And all you have to do is get to behind me, right? And so let's say we were playing a game and like capture the flag. So if we're playing capture the flag and Jesus is the flag on this side, right? And your goal, your objective is to attack, right? Is to come to get the flag. My goal would be to stop you, right? I would be the enemy. And so let's say I'm Satan and you're you and Jesus is behind me. So if at the very start of this game, you're supposed to come after my flag, I'm supposed to stop you. If you just turn around and run that way, just the whole total opposite direction, why would I stop you?
Literally.
Why would I do anything? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like if I'm like that's cool. Throw some more, whatever it is your way. Let's keep you that way. But you don't really gotta do much.
He's not worried about you. He's not worried about you, and that's why a lot of even a lot of Christians, like, they feel like hell don't hit until they make that decision to follow Jesus, because now you're on his radar.
Wait, say that again. Slow it down.
So there are people who come to Christ, and this is for some people who think that when they come to Christ, life gets better. There are sometimes when you come to Christ, life gets harder for you, because now that you've come to Christ, you've put yourself on Satan's radar. Because now you're going against his mission. So he's going to do the things that he has to do to bring you away from Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So the people who aren't going after Jesus, who are out here just living their best life, you're not on Satan's radar. You're already damned. So it's like, you know, I don't have to worry about you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep having your fun every week, every weekend. Do whatever it is that you're doing. We're going to end up in the same place. I'll meet you there. Like that's how he moves. That's what they don't realize. We're on the same team. We're on the same team. Yeah. Like, why do I have to go after you? We on the same team. Why are we going against each other? We on the same team. You're not my opponent yet.
When I die, I want all of hell to rejoice that I'm out of the fight. That's C.S. Lewis. Yo, when I heard that, John, I was tweaking in my room, bro. Like, literally, like, that's how much hell I want to give them. You know what I'm saying? Like, the enemy. But again, it's like, if you don't even know that you're in this fight, bro, imagine being in a boxing ring and you got a blindfold on and I told you, like, yo, look, here's what I need you to do. Go find this cup. It's just right here, or go on the stage. But it's two people boxing in the middle of the ring. Like, you were bound to get knocked out, son. Like, it just is what it is. Like,
give me that quote one more time.
When I die, I want all of hell to rejoice that I'm out of the fight.
That's so deep. Who said that?
C.S. Lewis.
That is so deep.
Literally, like the work that I'm putting in on this side, like I literally want the devil to be like, like thank God we don't got to see him this week. Like you feel me? Like that's like I resonate with that joint so much. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm really like, yo, like I'm trying to go at it for real. But yeah, that joint's crazy.
And that's a quote for seasoned Christians. You know what I'm saying? Because you have the Christians that they just want to get on the other team and then be like, all right, like I made it. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even think about like, no, like it's war.
Mama said Papa used to always be like, I just need a little cot in heaven. Like just give me a cot on the front yard.
That is so funny. Like, nah, like you don't, it's not just about switching teams. And that's another thing about, this is kind of pivoting a little bit, but for people who don't want to come on this team, they think it's pretty much like not even a valid religion, or God's not real, because what sense does it make that I'm gonna come to Christ and I can be like this horrible person and then just come to Christ and then continue to just be exactly what I was before? Like if I can just be the exact person I was before, what's the point? And it's like, no, like when you switch teams, it's a different mission. It's a different tactic. It's a different goal. It's a different coach. So we're pulling from a different playbook.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, like when you were on his team, you can do whatever you want. Not on this team. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They know they're losing. We know we're winning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different team. So understand how you win over here. And the way you win is you got to put the work in. You know what I'm saying? And it's worth it. And I think that embodies that quote that you're saying. Like you're going to be beating this team up so bad that they can't wait until you pretty much take your victory lap and go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, retire.
Like that quote is crazy. That's one of them Jones that you get tatted on you or something. that quote goes crazy. But I do want to ask you, like, what is it that you think would make someone, like, I guess I would say, like, know that Satan's real and have no desire to what he got going on?
So your question is, what would make someone be disinterested in the enemy if they know that he's real?
Yeah, because like when I first found out that Jesus was real, I'm like, whoa, like who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like if this is a God, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to know about this person. He's a God, right? Yeah. So it's like if Satan is real, we're talking about a fallen angel. Like why would someone just be like, like, I don't care.
All right. So I'm going to say something, and it's a little harsh, but I believe that it's real. So I think it's weakness. You know what I'm saying? It's weakness. Okay, so when you're weak to something, that means you're more susceptible to it, right?
Yes. And
I think it's people's heart being in the wrong place. So my heart is in love with my old life. You know what I'm saying? And so what people are, so understanding that, okay, like Satan is real, Satan exists, and hell is real, hell exists. In order to accept this good news, there's also news that comes with it. It means like, I got to change my life. You know what I'm saying? I got to do things different. I got to actually fight against temptation. I can't just give in to certain things. And so your weakness compared with your love for your old life, when them Jones are mixed together, you start to become hopeless. So it's weakness, is hopelessness, is your broken heart. You know what I'm saying? Like your heart is literally broken. And that's why we need Jesus. We need Jesus to literally come in and make us whole, and to give us his spirit, the same spirit that rose him up from literally the grave. You know what I'm saying? And once that joint is inside of you, it allows you to have the strength to be able to say no. So I talked before about like you're like literally being a slave to your own sin, right? Mm-hmm. And so if let's say I'm saying like I'm addicted to alcohol. So if I'm in the club every weekend or drinking at the crib, you know what I'm saying, like I believe that like yo, like if you can't say no to being inebriated, right? Like literally like being under the influence every single day or every single weekend or anytime you start drinking, you can't stop. Just like you were saying, it's the same with people who have sins that you can't see, like porn addictions or being addicted to food and overeating, being gluttonous, whatever. All of those things, they look different, but all of them are things that you can be addicted to. And so when you find yourself inside of a place where you're like, yo, to be honest, like I don't really think I can stop. It's scary to try to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like we hear people that spark, like you spark the gas like all the time, like I could stop when I want to stop for real. And it's like, all right, let's pull your cash up and see how many times you cash out the plug. You know what I'm saying, this month. And you look and you're like, dang, I done spent 6 racks this month. You know what I'm saying? Like that's probably not something that you want to do. And so you tell me, all right, bro, then stop. But you can't because you're addicted to it. You know what I'm saying? But like literally you expose yourself time after time after time again. And so like just like you were saying, like yo, like when you become a Christian, things don't always just automatically become easier. Life isn't just unicorns and rainbows, right? But it's like you get that spirit, you get the power of God, you get the power of Christ to literally be inside of you, say like, yo, like I can't do this within my own strength. I need you. And so literally God empowers us to be able to follow him. Like everything it is that we do, we have because of his power.
You said like, so basically like what you're saying about like pretty much like once you get that spirit in you and you're gonna cling to that same spirit, the same spirit that rose Jesus from the dead, I feel like the opposite side of that is that nature of sin, right? And that nature of sin is the same nature that got Satan kicked out, right? So if he has that sinful nature and that same sinful nature rest in us, the same way when we're feeding our spirit, it pulls us closer to God. When we're feeding our sin, it's making us closer to him because it's a nature that he dwells in, right? And he plays on that. He feeds that nature. Then I think that's what makes people, I guess, blind to what he's doing and careless. Like all the things that you said, like hopelessness, weakness, like all those things is not of the spirit. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that he's going to feed because it's in the same nature that he has. He knows how to feed that sinful nature. And that's why like when you fast, you're supposed to starve the nature that he feels like brings him closer to you. And you feed the spirit that has the nature of God and it brings you closer to God. Which is another tactic that he has. Is I'm going to feed exactly what we have in common. Sin. Like that's it. Pride. Like these are the things that we have in common and I'm gonna just play on it. And I feel like that's something that people overlook a lot. Like, oh, he's just evil. There's a lot more in common than y'all think than just he's bad. You know what I'm saying? Like there are things that it's a nature that he has that he made sure that he put in us as a tactic to make us no longer spend eternity with God. And he's going to spend the rest of his life until he loses to play on that nature. And that's kind of why I feel like it's imperative that we be mindful of the fact that he's been doing this for thousands of years. He has all like one of the things that's so funny is people talk about like systematic racism in this country and they say, oh, like the system has been around for this long, like it's never gonna break, it's been made like this, we can't, like if you think that system has been around for this long and it'll never break, what type of system do you think Satan has made for the human race and how hard it is to break his system? Like that system has been around. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have the mental capacity to overrun that, to overall that system. We don't have it. You need the spirit because at the end of the day, as smart as Satan is, as tactical as Satan is, as strong as Satan is, he's not omnipotent He's not omnipresent. He's not God. So you need God on your side to even win that fight. And I think that's a reason why someone can be so naive to just be like, I ain't gonna be on this team. Like, that shows it's levels to this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's on a whole different level than you. He's cool with you being like that.
Yeah, there was a study done. It's called Learned Helplessness, right? And so basically there was a classroom, right? And it's 30 people. 20 people inside of the class have answers to the test. 10 people don't. And so the teacher basically says, yo, raise your hand when you're finished with the test. So it's a short test. It's probably maybe like 10 questions. And basically, like, there are letters jumbled up and they're supposed to just be words. So those 20 people, they get those letters. Like, say the first word is like tire. You know what I'm saying? The second word is like tiger. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all jumps. But on the people who have the 10 tests that are different, the words don't really make sense. So they can't get it. And so basically, like, those 10 people, when the first 20 people raise their hand, the second time they kind of like, dang, like, I'm frustrated. So then they give them a second test, right? So then when they take the second test, they are a little more upset that they kind of just like already frustrated, thinking that's not going to work, right? So the same 20 people put their hands up again, kind of like as time moves on. So those last 10 people kind of like are frustrated. They don't get it. And then when the third test comes, the Jones are actually right. Like, there's a time, you know what I'm saying, for them to get it. So those first 20 people, they all raise their hands again. And the 10 people literally are kind of just like sit back and kind of just like, yo, like, I already know, like, this one's wrong. It's impossible. And they learn to be helpless. You know what I'm saying? Like, from literally like failing and people around, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a learned helplessness. And so, like, when you have people inside your life who are like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying, like, do what you want. Be you, be your true self. And it's like, again, like, what is the Bible saying in Jeremiah? Like, the heart is deceitful. You know what I'm saying? Like, follow your heart. It's in every Disney movie. It's like, it's so countercultural. It's like the Bible that literally says your heart is deceitful. Who can know it? And it's just like, yo, how is it that our culture can speak so much into our young people and be like, yo, here's what you need to do. Follow your heart. Here's what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, be your true self. And it's just like, okay. So if you think about your soul being your mind, will, and emotions, right? So your will, right, is anything it is that you would actually like want to do, the things that you carry out. Your emotions are the things that you just actually feel, you know? And so, like, your emotions are things that technically, they're indicators that let you know how it is that you feel. And so your mind are the things it is that you think. And so we know that the will that it is that we want to do is our Father's will, right? We want to do everything inside of God's will. And so in order for that to happen, the will is the thing it is that you carry out. You need your mind and your emotions to be on one accord because they're both fighting for control. Your mind and your emotions are fighting for control of the will. And so let's say your emotions are making you feel a certain type of way and you act on them, Jones, right? And so your mind being something that's strong. If you're like, yo, like, whatever it is that's happening, I want to make sure that I'm under control of it. I'm following the will of God. And so these two things are fighting over control of what it is that happens. Just like your id, ego, and super ego are fighting over control of the ego, the thing that gets carried out. If your emotions can be corrupted, right? If you can feel terrible by someone, if your emotions get control of your will, and people be like, yo, that's just me. That's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get emotional and your will and your emotions are takes over the will and you carry out bad things. That's also you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is your true self, right?
You're teaching right now.
So what I'm saying is that when people say I want to be true to myself, it's which self are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Because you can be at your best self, but it takes work to get there. Yeah. And so when literally like these Disney Channel Jones or these Disney movies telling you follow your heart, be true to yourself, but it's like, yo, you can be your best self is literally when you're centered with Christ and you're carrying out the will of the Father. When things is all in alignment, you're doing the things that you know that you're supposed to be doing. You're feeding more so your spirit, man, and not feeding into your flesh. The you that you are when you're feeding that person is your best self. But the other self is still you, but it's a bad version of you. And so people are telling you, yo, like, be you, be yourself. But like, that's not the you that you should be being. You feel me? Like, you want to be operating in excellence, doing everything it is that the Father is asking you to do, calling you to do. How do we know those things? We got the blueprint right here. It's a Bible. know what I'm saying? It's 66 books filled with literally the word of God.
Bro. The fact that you just broke down a trinity within a trinity within a trinity. And it has to all be on one accord the same way the trinity is on one accord. Mm-hmm. We're done. We are done.
Yo.
That's crazy. Yeah, now we're ending it there. We appreciate y'all for watching episode 2 with us. And everybody who was liking, sharing everything for episode 1, like, we really appreciate that. And keep it up. Make sure y'all subscribe if y'all haven't already. Keep liking, subscribing, share the good news. And as always, make sure y'all soil rich.
That's honesty. Foundation still strong as armor swings. You tell me God ain't real but can't promise me. Yeah, I remember dying in the pit. Now I'm walking on the water like I'm Simon out the ship. Yeah.